Mark Zuckerberg, Taylor Swift, Mr. Beast, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Steve Jobs. Most of us have heard about these wildly successful people who became millionaires or even billionaires in their 20s. Heck, I've even seen stories of kids as young as 12, 13, and 14 making money through YouTube, NFTs, online businesses, you name it. And with headlines like that flooding our feeds, it's just easy to feel like we're already behind. Like if you haven't made it by 30, you've missed your chance to be successful. But here's the truth, those stories make headlines because they're the exception, not the blueprint. And that kind of success isn't the North Star you should be chasing, especially if you're in your 30s or 40s trying to build something real. In this video, I want to share the truth about wealth building I wish I had known in my 30s, because it would have saved me a lot of regret, confusion, and wasted energy. In your 20s, most of what you're doing is just trying to figure things out. You're experimenting, you're failing, you're learning who you are, what matters to you, and what definitely doesn't matter to you. But here's what I wish I had known in my 30s. That season of trial and error from my 20s, it's not wasted time. It was preparation. Real wealth building momentum does not usually happen when you're young and wild and winging it. It happens when you finally start noticing patterns, when you've got enough lived experience to make decisions with clarity instead of chaos. A lot of the pressure that we feel in our 30s comes from comparing ourselves to those rare outliers who made it by 25. But here's what no one tells you. Most people who build long-term wealth, real financial freedom, don't hit their stride until much later in life. Ray Kroc didn't start building McDonald's until he was 52. Samuel L. Jackson didn't land his breakthrough role until he was 46. Heck, even Elon Musk didn't hit billionaire status until after 40. And that's not failure. That's momentum. None of these people were sitting around in their 20s wondering how to build an empire. They were building a life. And then, when things were right, well, the momentum took over. If you're in your 30s, 40s, or even your 50s, and you're just now getting serious about wealth, good. You're right on time. It's not about being first. It's about building something that lasts. Honestly, my 20s and even my 30s were mostly about surviving, raising kids, figuring things out, making a lot of mistakes. The wealth momentum I have now, that didn't start until I let go of what I thought success was supposed to look like and started building something that actually fit me. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the financial advice out there, I want you to hear this. You're not confused because you're failing. You're confused because most of the advice out there wasn't made for you. Some experts will tell you to cut every extra expense, and others will say you just need to earn more money. One voice tells you to hustle harder, and another says to manifest more. When I was growing up, the advice was simple. Go to college, get a job, save your money, retire at 65. There was no real roadmap for improving your life beyond that. No blueprint for building wealth, for taking risks, for creating something different. It was just do what everyone else does and hope it works out. So when life changed, or when that plan didn't lead to fulfillment, most of us were left asking, now what? But here's what I learned. Wealth building doesn't start with tactics. It starts with alignment. Alignment with your life. Alignment with your values. Alignment with what you actually want. Not what you think you're supposed to want. Don't buy the latte advice. It's not helpful when you're living paycheck to paycheck or you're emotionally drained. You don't need to follow 50 rules that weren't made for you. You just need to know what actually works for the life you want. What do you want your life to look like, and how does wealth building fit into that vision? Because once your money decisions match your life, your real life, well, that's when everything starts to shift. The hardest part of building wealth isn't figuring out what to do. It's believing that what you do today matters for tomorrow, especially if you're starting late or you're starting over. It's easy to think, What's the point of starting an emergency fund? Or does skipping one impulse purchase really change anything? But I'm telling you from experience, those small decisions, they do matter. Every dollar you don't waste is a dollar you can invest. Every little cost you cut and redirect to savings gives you a leg up when the unexpected happens. In my 30s, I said, I've got plenty of time to get started. So I did nothing. And later I said, I'm so far behind, why bother doing anything? And I did nothing. But the truth is, you don't need a 10-year plan. You only need a vision of what you want for your life. You just need a clear vision of the life that you want to build and the courage to take one step in that direction. When I first started turning things around, it wasn't because of some big windfall. It started when I made one simple choice. Quit making excuses, quit whining about what I should have done, and actually start doing something. And that doing something step, it can be anything, and it's going to be different based on where you're at in your wealth building journey. That something might be opening a savings account, applying for a better paying job, canceling one subscription that you don't use anymore, or simply deciding that you're done letting guilt control your money decisions. It doesn't have to be dynamic, it just has to be yours. For me, that momentum changed everything. It gave me the stepping stones I needed to get unstuck and to start moving forward. Your decisions don't have to be perfect. Your first step doesn't have to look like something that everyone else is doing. It just has to be aligned with what you want for your own life. And when those decisions line up with the life you're trying to build, well, that's when you shift from survival mode to wealth building. So if you're in your 30s, your 40s, or even your 50s, and you've been telling yourself it's too late, it's not. You didn't miss your chance. You just haven't started building from the right place yet. Wealth isn't built by rushing through life, trying to follow someone else's rules. It's built when you decide, this time, I'm doing it differently. And if that's where you're at, the next step is just getting clearer on what actually moves the needle for you. In the next video, I'll break down the only 3 numbers that really matter when it comes to financial freedom and how they start putting you on the path to the life that you actually want. So watch that video next.